Hey y'all. So it's about time that we make a video about time. One of the best things that I get to see when I'm working with clients as a hypnotherapist is the moment that my clients realize that their problems exist in time. And time, well, time is a funny thing. It doesn't really exist the way we think it does, or at least it's subjective, malleable, and most importantly, it's something that we can shape into a tool that works for us. It's at that moment when this realization sinks in that true positive change begins to happen for my client. You see, a lot of people struggle. Most of our struggles, fears, anxieties, are built on that foundation of time. We worry about the future, about what might happen, about all the things that could go wrong. Or we're holding on to the past so tightly, replaying all of those old stories, that regret, that pain, that trauma, as though they're happening to us all over again. And in both cases, time becomes a trap. You feel stuck in these never ending loops or spirals of what was or what might be, rarely existing fully in the here and now. But here's the neat thing about it is that time is not as rigid as we tend to believe. While this linear feeling that we have about time in our everyday lives, in this world of our mind, this place that exists up here only, and especially in the world of hypnosis, time is so much more flexible, and it can become a playground where you can explore past experiences, reframe them, and bring healing into the here and now, the present. We can also project ourselves into the future, shaping positive visions of what's to come and building the emotional and mental resources necessary to get us there. So the reason time is so important, especially in a therapeutic process, is because our experiences are tied to it. Our trauma is stuck in time. Our anxieties about the future are stretched across time. And yet, when we realize that we can manipulate our experience of time, then we begin to break free from its constraints. Think about it this way. Consider how your memory works. When you think back to a painful event that happened from years ago, your mind has a way of pulling that moment into the present, where you feel that sting, that pain, that sadness, that anger, whatever emotion was present at the time, as if it's happening all over again. This is what gives the past such power over us. But what if you could go back and view that event from a new perspective, with fresh eyes, change the emotional tone of that memory? What if instead of seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance, you could see yourself as a survivor? And the fact that you come from a long line of survivors, strong, resilient. What if instead of feeling powerless, you could reclaim yourself, your composure in that moment? Through hypnotherapy, this becomes possible. And by guiding my clients into a trance state of hyper focused abilities, they can revisit those past memories in a way that allows for them to heal and change and transform. In hypnosis, time is fluid. We can slow it down, we can speed it up, We can fast forward it. We can zoom in. We can zoom out. We can gain insight. And we can shift how those memories impact us in the here and now. The goal is not to erase the past. That's impossible to do. The goal is to reframe the past in a way that finally gives you power as an individual. So when it comes to the past, hypnosis is an excellent tool. And similarly, when it comes to anxieties about the future, most of the time we tend to project worst case scenarios into our mind. We imagine all of the things and the ways that things could go wrong, all the failures that we might face, all the discomfort that we could experience. This fear of the future keeps you stuck, preventing you from taking action in the moment, in the here and now. Here's the thing, just like the past doesn't exist anywhere but in your mind, the future doesn't exist anywhere yet except in your mind. The future is just stories that you're telling yourself. And if you're going to tell yourself a story about the future, why not make it a positive one? You can do that just as easily as creating a negative story. There's not any more energy or effort required in making it a positive story. So why not envision a future where you succeed, where you overcome your challenges, and where you thrive? In hypnotherapy, we can use visualization to help you create a vivid picture of the future. See it just the way you want. And by mentally rehearsing your success, your joy, your confidence, we can build the neural pathways that will support these outcomes for you. So in essence, we're shaping time in your favor. We're taking control of the stories that you tell yourself. We're using those stories to create a future that's aligned with your desires. One of the greatest insights that comes from working with time in this way, shaping it, molding it, manipulating it, is understanding that the present moment's all you really have. The past is gone, the future's not yet here. In this present moment, you have the power to make choices, to shift your perspective, to take action. And when you begin to grasp this, then you step out of those old negative mental loops of the past and those future worries, and you step into a reality of now. And that's where real change happens. In the present, we can rewrite these old narratives. In the present, we can let go of fear. In the present, we can begin to live fully, free from these constraints of past that no longer define you, and a future that's open to your influence. So when my clients reach that moment, when they understand that time is subjective and that they have the power to shape it, they begin to experience these profound shifts. They realize that the problems are not fixed, unchangeable parts of their identity, but the experiences that exist within the framework of time. And time, as it turns out, is something that we can work with. It's a tool that we can use to create the life that we truly want. That's when the positive change work begins. And it's truly a beautiful thing to witness.